Alright, YouTubers, let's just get right into this story because to me it's really sad. It's sickening, it's disappointing, and it really vexes my spirit. So, let's get right into it. Imagine you are a parent. You have an 18-year-old. You've done everything you were supposed to do. You put the plastic things in the outlet so the child wouldn't electrocute themselves. You chopped their food up into tiny pieces so they wouldn't choke when they were a toddler. You made sure nobody messed with them when they rode the school bus because they were going to have to deal with you. You were that parent that was at every PTA meeting getting on the teacher and the principal's nerves, and they're kind of like, yeah, your child and 700 other kids, whatever. You were that parent that monitored who your child hung out with. You made sure they had a curfew. You gave them a cell phone to call you in case of emergencies. Tell me where you're going to be. Do you need the car? I put some gas in it. You're on insurance or whatever. Let me know if you're ever having problems with anything. If there's anything you're going through, please talk to me. I am here. I am your parent. And you did all that great stuff. Then your child gets into Rutgers. They get into a university. They've done what you taught them. They did well. They did well. They made it through that dreadful middle school and high school. And they're on to bigger and better things. And they're going to Rutgers. You're excited. Your family's excited. You tell the whole town, my baby's smart. They might even graduate at the top whatever percent of their class. And you're like, great. In 4 years, maybe even 3 if they're smart. Maybe 5 if they just need a little extra help. But we praying for them. We know they can do it. That they're going to come home with a bachelor's. And then, hey, they might come back with a master's a few years later. They might get a doctoral. They may get a JD. They may get an MBA. They may even run the Trump Towers in a few years. And they're going to be so rich that you never have to work another day in your life. And your child's going to take care of you. And then you ship your child off to college. You praying every night that they're going to be alright because now you can't be that overprotective parent anymore because you're not there. It's the phone call that's keeping y'all together. And you get a phone call that your child is missing. And never mind everything that's going in your head. Never mind the fact that you're not going to be getting any sleep anymore because you're worried. Never mind the fact that your child's story is on the news all day. There's the missing persons report. There's the candlelight vigils. All that stuff. You know, you're just thinking, wow, where is my baby? I want my baby back right now. Send my baby back home. They can stay with me. Maybe they shouldn't have went to college. All that great, well, that's not really great stuff, but all that stuff. And then you get that call that your child is no longer here and they decided to take their own life due to the ignorance of their peers. And that's what's happened with the Clementi story. If you're not familiar with who Ty Clementi is, he was an 18-year-old freshman at Rutgers, and he was basically living a closeted lifestyle from what I understand, meaning that he was gay, but he just didn't want everybody in his business, so everybody didn't know. And from what I understand, his mother and his father didn't even know that he was gay. And, you know, he went to college with the hopes of becoming something great, and maybe he would become more comfortable in his lifestyle or his sexuality as the years progressed in college, and he'd do whatever he needed to do to make himself, you know, just live life to the fullest. And his roommate, I guess his roommate must have kind of had an idea that something was going on, or his roommate just needed a good kick. But anyway, Ty's told his roommate, hey, I'm having company at this time. Company, y'all know what that type of company is. I'm having company at this time. I need the room from this time to this time. And, you know, a respectable roommate will tell you when they're going to be doing something with someone else. So they kind of give you a heads up when to not come to the room. So that roommate took it amongst himself to say, hey, we're going to get us a good kick out of this. I'm going to set up the webcam. I'm going to call my other friend. We're going to broadcast this stuff on Skype. And let's make some Facebook announcements and all that great stuff. And poor Ty is just in the room doing Lord knows what with his partner. And it's being broadcast on the net. To the internet world, Twitter, whatever it was on, Skype, Facebook, MySpace, if you still got one in 2010. And you know, basically all of Ty's business is put out there in front of the university, in front of anybody who was watching that video. And Ty was so humiliated, embarrassed, betrayed by a roommate that you're supposed to trust, because first of all, when you have a roommate, somebody that you're going to be living with for a year, you guys are supposed to have that trust, that bond where you're not going to do anything to make your roommate feel uncomfortable, vice versa. You're not going to steal their stuff. They're not going to kill you in your sleep. All that stuff. You got, even, you know, if the TV's too loud, I'll turn it down because you're doing your homework. All that stuff. And that's the type of relationship a roommate should have, but I guess they didn't have that. So the roommate basically humiliated Ty. And Ty was so embarrassed that I feel that he decided he wanted to take his own life because now his business was out. And, you know, not only did he just kill himself, but I feel like he had a horrible way of dying. You know, he drove his car to a bridge and jumped off of it. That's to me, I'm not going to sit here and try to make a joke about how somebody kills himself, but I feel like that's such a long and thought out death. Okay, first of all, if something were to ever take me out, I need it quick. I don't want to know that my fate is coming. And secondly, you know, this is to anybody that's ever thought about suicide. I don't think anything in life is that hard where you really just can't deal with it and you just have to end your life right then and there. I'm sure there are so many people, if they could come back, if they could do it all over again, they wouldn't, because they would have realized that what they were going through was not that serious and they were going to be alright. But you know, his death. Let's just get into the mind of Ty. Everything that you didn't want anyone to know is out in front of a bunch of people that you're not close to. A bunch of people that, I don't know, you don't even know, but you just know your business is out. And not just any business, but your sexual, all of that. They caught you on camera shaboinking. And, you know, never mind how embarrassing it is to be caught on camera, whether it's with a man or with a woman. No one wants to be seen doing that on camera. And even the porn stars are probably embarrassed, but they just making all that money, so they just stroke right along. And, you know, so you're driving in his car. I don't know if Ty was driving fast or if he was driving slow. Maybe he was in a rush to die, so he was zooming. Maybe he was driving slow and he was just thinking, am I really going to do this? So he was driving slow. But he gets out of the car and he decides he's going to do it. Now he has to make himself jump off the bridge. That's like chance number 2, where he could have just changed his mind and said, never mind, I won't do this. But he chooses to jump. Now he's jumping. It's not like he jumps and hits the water like that. He has to fall into the water. And while he's falling, I'm sure he's thinking like, okay, man, maybe I don't want to do this. Maybe I do want to do this. God rest his soul. And you know, maybe he hits the water and he doesn't die on impact. Now he has a third chance to really, you know, swim to shore or do whatever. I don't want to die. Maybe I want to live. But I'm not sure exactly what happened. I don't know if he died from impact or if he died from drowning. But if he died from drowning, that meant that he had a third opportunity not to do what he was doing, and he chose to do it. You know, how horrible of a person do you have to be to make someone want to kill themselves? And not just kill themselves, but a long thought out suicide. That, I feel so bad for him and his family and his poor parents. You know, no one wants to get the news that their child is dead. You know, you invested all that time into raising them to become something great, and then they're not even in school for a good month. You're still paying for books. When did school start? Like a month ago? And then the child, you know, your child is gone. That's horrible. And the roommate should be ashamed. First of all, you don't expose somebody for what they're doing in their own private, you know, business. You know, that's their business. Nothing to do with you. Maybe Ty didn't want everybody to know about his lifestyle at the moment. Maybe, because from what I understand, the parents didn't know. And maybe he was only out to a few close friends. Maybe he had some bad experiences, and maybe he just felt that he'd rather live a closeted lifestyle. Maybe he was one of those people that have to sit in church every Sunday and hear people condemn him to hell. So he's like, I don't want to deal with this when I get to college. So, or who knows, maybe he would meet some people in college and he'd be more comfortable with himself, and he'd eventually be more open about his lifestyle. Maybe, you know, he just needed some time. But the roommate felt that they were in just so much authority to do what they did that they went ahead and did it. And then to make it worse, not only did they expose the roommate, they put it on viral video. It's out. It's on the net. It's on Skype. Somebody saw Ty doing something with somebody else. Never mind the other person in the video that they may be embarrassed too. But, you know, let's get a good laugh. Let's put it on here. Let's make a Facebook status. How horrible is that? And this is not the only case where something like that has happened. You know, I think his name is Asher Brown, 13, just killed himself from bullying. He was an openly gay student at 13, which I feel must be horrible. That must be hard to deal with. Junior high kids, middle school age kids are the worst with anything. I hated junior high because I was like 5'1" and 80 pounds, and I got clowned on all the time because all the kids were like getting buff and all this stuff and playing football, and I was a little scrawny kid that danced. So, you know, I hated middle school. I hated the way I looked because my forehead was so big. It still is, but I grew into it, and my face wasn't the way I hated middle school, junior high was hell. And I'm sure to be a 13-year-old out of the closet, because how many 13-year-olds did you know were gay when you were in middle school? Nobody was gay in middle school. They were, but we didn't know because no one wanted to come out of the closet that young, because it's such a permanent decision, I guess. And maybe even in high school people are a little bit more open. But, you know, 13, and he felt that his life was that horrible that he wanted to end it. You know, he was bullied for being gay. He was bullied for his socioeconomic status. He was bullied for the clothes that he wore. He was just bullied for being himself, being honest, being a true person. And, you know, there are people that may go to the grave with their lifestyle because they don't want to be open with it. And, you know, he chose at the age of 13 that he was going to just be himself. So I commend him for that, but I'm really sad that he chose to kill himself. And how horrible was that? And then there was the 12-year-old, I think he was a cheerleader. He didn't kill himself, but some bullies jumped him and they even broke his arm because he was a cheerleader. I mean, parents, what are y'all doing? Are y'all teaching your kids anything? You know, instead of spending so much time trying to run and talk trash about how horrible Obama is, maybe you should make sure that your kids are not bullying each other. Maybe you should make sure that your kids are being taught morale. Because I don't know what type of home training your kids are not receiving, but they need to get it together. Because, Lord, had I been Ty, by the time I would have got out of jail for murder, you know, just come on. Like, that roommate should be ashamed. And I hope they feel so bad. And I'm sure they didn't think that Ty was going to kill himself. But, I mean, what did you think was going to happen? Did you think that Ty was just going to be like, oh, I can't believe you put that on the net, be mad, and that'll be it. And maybe he might just transfer to another school and that was it. It's like, people don't think about the things that they do. And I think it has to do with the fact that we're so virtual now. We're so quick to put anything on the internet, anything on Twitter, anything on YouTube, anything on MySpace, if you still have one in 2010. But, you know, so quick to do all this stuff, we don't think about the consequences of our actions. We clown people, we do a lot of stuff, we do all type. We always want to humiliate somebody. We always want to be top dog. We want to get somebody before they get us. And it's that mentality that really just drives a lot of the chaos that's going on. Like I saw on the news, they were saying 9 out of 10 people that are openly gay they were bullied at some point in their life, which is horrible. And that people that are openly gay are 4 times more likely to kill themselves. And that's horrible. You know, first of all, it doesn't matter what someone does sexually. I do not care. Do what you do. Make yourself happy. As long as you're happy and you ain't gonna get on my nerves, I am happy. You do whatever. I even be at the wedding. Hand clap. But, you know, it's a mess out there. And the roommates are just terrible. And, you know, it's not just in the schools and in colleges. Like, we do this all day on the media and everything. You look at all the sites and the TV shows, TMZ and Media Takeout and old Chunky Perez Hilton. I don't even know why he has room to talk about anybody because, you know, aren't you in enough trouble with that Miley Cyrus stuff anyway, posting nudity pictures of a minor? Or, like, didn't will.i.am already punch you in the face once for talking? You know, you should just shut up and humble yourself. Or, you know, there's people on Twitter. I see Twitter beefs a lot of times and people are fighting and I'm going to expose this person. So they post some very embarrassing picture of the person from years ago or whatever. Or I'm going to show this person. I'm going to read this person. I'm going to play their life. They don't know me. They done effed up. They done messed with the wrong person. All that bull crap. And people just don't realize that, you know, everyone doesn't operate the same way. My mindset is not the same as yours. So you may not respond to something the same way I might. I may do something to somebody and it may not be a big deal to me, but to them it may drive them crazy. And, you know, people really just have got to get themselves together. I'm like, did we not listen to John Lennon Imagine? I'm like, did we not learn from Rhythm Nation? People of the world, unite. Like, it's terrible. So my message to people is, as I said in the Bethany Storrow video, y'all got to be more open-minded. Watch what you say and do. Watch how you treat people. You never know what you do or how what you do is going to make a difference between today and tomorrow. You never know how your actions may affect someone. All you teenagers or whatever, y'all need to quit making fun of each other. Y'all don't got room to talk about anybody because it's not like y'all have any degrees. You don't have jobs, most of you. Most of you don't have anything going for you anyway. You know, stop bullying each other. Those of you in college, first of all, you're supposed to be studying. And Mr. Old Roommate, old Steven Spielberg, Mr. One to Videotape, I hope you're a film major because if you're something like psychology, I should come over there and clock you in the back of your head since you want to film so much. Because obviously you didn't pay attention to the rules of, I guess, release forms when you're going to film somebody. Make sure you have their consent. Anyway, that's the end of my rant. Subscribe. I'll be posting some more videos. Check out my Bethany Storrow one. And that's it. So please be more mindful of what you say and do to people. And please just really think about your actions. And those of you that have ever thought about suicide, it's not worth it. Okay? Whatever you're going through, it will be alright. It sucks now. It may be a long, horrible, I don't know, experience, but you will get through it. Do not kill yourself because there's too many of us going. I live in Washington State, unfortunately, and we have the second highest suicide rate in the nation next to Alaska. So I know a lot of people that have really felt that life was just not worth it and they decided to end theirs. And you know, it hurts to see somebody go. So be more open-minded to those that are different, as I said in the other video, and really just think about your actions. And if you've ever thought about suicide, really get some help because you will be able to make it through whatever you're going through. That's it in my video. See y'all later.